Well, hello, my fellow gamers. It's Katie, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I am Creative Katie, aka Katie, and welcome, guys. I am so excited you're here. So, for today's video, we're actually going to be touring my own island, Epra. I have been working on this island for the past several months. I am so excited to be sharing this with you. There are a couple of speed builds out there of my island, so if you haven't gotten a chance to check those out, I highly encourage you guys to do so. But I am so excited because this island or this build really challenged me in the terms of needing to be aware of space and views and everything like that, something that I've never really considered in the past when I made my builds. I was always doing kind of what I felt like doing, never really conscious about what was going on around. And this time I really pushed myself to have some really cool views, some experiences that I haven't ever put on my island. I know it didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it to be, but that's okay, guys. The important thing is having fun, that you allow your imagination to go wild and just be yourself. And that's really what this island helped push me to be and to do with these builds. But give you a little background of my island. This is Epra. The last build that I did on this island was a castle core, which you can see in a previous video tour on my YouTube channel. Be sure to check that one out. And then this island is actually a spring Skycore island. So that means that we are going to be up in the air, so to speak. So I made this feel like we are experiencing this island as if we're on floating islands, that you see so many views of, the clouds and open air and things like that. So I hope you guys really enjoy. But let's go ahead and check out the map first. So as I said, wanted to make this feel like you were exploring floating islands, things like that. And so you can see that majority of the stuff is on the second level. And we have some connections between the main areas of the islands and things like that. So I hope you guys find some inspiration. But this was a challenge for me. I had a lot of fun with it. It was definitely outside of my comfort zone. And as I mentioned, it didn't turn out 100% the way that I thought it was going to. But that doesn't mean that I don't love it. I think it turned out so beautifully. I am so excited to be sharing this with you guys. But as far as residents go, we have Raymond, Anka, Marshall, Ione, Molly, Bill, Gonzo, Cookie, Bones, and Faith. I picked these villagers for a reason, because of the fact that we're up in the air. I figured these would be villagers that wouldn't have an issue with heights. Cats liking to be up in trees, same with koalas, ducks flying, and then of course squirrels also being up in the air as well. But I also wanted some dogs on my island. I am a huge dog fan, so so that's where Bones and Cookies come in. So I do have each of these villager homes complete, so we will check them out. I know that majority of them are sleeping right now, or they are out and about, but I will make sure to show you guys what those villager homes look like. But let's go ahead and start exploring. So I do have a pair of wings on, so that way, should we fall off any edges, we should be fine. And when you guys come and visit, I do have some gifts out for you, so be sure to pick these up. I hope you enjoy. I didn't really create a full-on outfit because I wanted you guys to come with your own outfits and have fun exploring that way, but these are more tools to make sure that we are considering your safety first and foremost. Before we really get into the island, I'm actually going to take you off to the left over here. So this is the campsite area. I wanted this to be a place for non-residents to come and visit. So when we have campsite villagers, things like that, they are right off the entrance. They're right next to where they would fly in. And I made this setup with a place to hang their clothes, some places for cooking food. And then if we come down here, we have a picnic area complete with a little fire spot, and then of course some places to kind of lay out on the beach and have some fun, get some sun. I wanted to leave this a little open because of the fact that currently we do not have a villager at the campsite, but I also wanted to make it feel like when you do go camping, there's not a whole lot there. You have your essentials, but then you kind of make the experience your own, and that's kind of what I wanted to do with this. I do have a section over here, so if you would like to come and catch your own dinner, you can definitely do that. You bring a fishing rod and see if you can catch the big fish. So and then right above, this is probably one of my favorite views right here with all the waterfalls, all the natural feelings and things like that. Now, I did do a speed build of this area, and if you guys have seen that, there is a little bit of a difference between that speed build and the final product. And that's because of the fact that I realized as I was building that I didn't have as much space as I thought I did, and so I had to really compact everything. And of course, when you're dealing with trees and water, that is a very difficult thing to do because the game does not allow us to have trees right next to water unless it's at the corners. So trees have kind of this square ring around them that you can't really put any other big objects next to them unless they're items that you're placing. And so that makes it very difficult when you're trying to terraform, when you're trying to do waterscaping, things like that. And so I had to really get creative with how this all looked. And I am actually very proud of how it turned out. This is one of my favorite areas on the island. I think it's so beautiful. It looks so natural. And it was the first time that I really thought about the landscape and really pushed myself to go beyond my comfort zone and look at this and be like, okay, if I was viewing this, what would I want to see? And so those are some of the questions that I continuously asked myself as I was building this island. So yeah, I hope as we start exploring, you guys are inspired, that these help with your builds on your island. And because that's really what I'm pushing for, is helping inspire you guys when it comes to these builds, when it comes to my islands and stuff like that. So this is the main entrance to the island. I wanted to make it feel like we are transitioning from the mainland into floating islands here. So you can see down there that we have the sky and stuff like that, making it feel like we came from the airport right here. We landed, here's some water, and then we are transitioning. Here is the main anchored land, and then we are now going up a level and transitioning to the floating island. So the other thing here is that we still are on the mainland when it comes to this portion, but as soon as we cross the bridge here, we have now transitioned over to the floating islands. Now, my inspiration for all of this was actually Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. If you've never played that game, it's actually a really fun game to play. I've never played it, but I watched my husband play it, and I enjoyed all the puzzles and stuff on there. I'm very much a creative puzzle person. I cannot do combat or do games like Call of Duty or anything like that because I panic when I'm getting shot at. So yeah, but I really loved the idea of floating islands, and so that's kind of what inspired me to do this Skycore. The other side of this as well is I wanted to make it feel like this island was being developed. So you can see that we have some weeds on the ground here. Things aren't fully transitioned over to a full-on like city type feeling. And And the reason why I wanted that was because I wanted it to feel like we were getting used to the idea of living on floating islands, that we have stabilized them, that we're able to now get to a point of living on them. And so that's why we see that there's going to be some areas that are underdeveloped and some areas that are more developed. And I wanted to kind of do that as kind of a transition for myself as well in my themes, because the next island theme that I'm doing is a winter village, and I'm hoping to have that released before Christmas. But that's going to be more of a town, a developed town slash city. I don't know if I'd be full on city core like if you went to New York or anything like that, but that's kind of the transition that I'm having there. Oh, naughty gift. So that's kind of what this whole island is supposed to be, is like a transition over to that. So this part right here is supposed to make it feel like you are up in the air, that you are viewing the residential services in the back. We have a small section down there that is for that kind of showcase that it's still kind of floating, as well as down here. So it kind of feels like you are crossing over some islands. And another thing that I realized as I was doing this was the fact that it was a little bit of a challenge to space everything. This is probably the most crowded island that I've ever developed in terms of places where you can squeeze into. And that's because of the fact that being on the second level, you don't have as much room to work with as you do on the first level, which is okay. And it really challenged me, and I actually really enjoyed it. But we have this main area here, or this long, narrow island here, and then again, we are transitioning over to a new floating island. So you can see that it makes it feel like we are doing a suspended bridge. There is clouds underneath us, there's blue sky. So just something like that, and we're transitioning over to the more developed area. So this is the shopping district of the island. I wanted to make this feel like it's the most developed of all of the island locations, just because of the fact that this would be where more tourists would be. And so they wanted to kind of make this a showcase, because if you make the shopping district look nice, people will come, they'll buy, the money will then go back into the community. So this is that area. We have the Able Sisters right here with some merchandise out front. I did have it set up that you can either bike or do your scooter across the area. So some of the residents have bikes, some of them have scooters. And then we have nooks right here. And then if we go down here, this is leading to residential services. And we have Leaf right here. Oh my goodness, I love this character so much. So I'm so excited that he's here. Now, one of the things that I realized right here is probably one of the few places that you will actually be able to be on the blue portion, so the sky portion of the island. And that's just because of the fact that there are 19 squares between residential services and my airport entrance. And on top of that, the residential services and the airport are 1 square off of each other. So they're not perfectly lined up, which was a huge thing for me. Hello, Leaf. I know I'm boring you right now. That was like perfect timing. So anyway, that was a huge thing for me because of the fact that everything wasn't centered. But the nice thing with this theme, it didn't need to be. So I got to relax a little bit on that side of things. But it was still a challenge because of the fact that I only had 19 spaces to work with. And so thus began my challenge to doing so much in such compact areas. So this is another suspended bridge leading down to the entrance area. So here's the entrance right here. Come across this little suspending bridge, and we went to the left before, but this is what it looks like to the right. And then we have another little suspending bridge leading to one of the residential areas. So again, a little underdeveloped. They're still working on it. They wanted to get the houses in first before getting in all the roads. And this is a 3-tier villager home or villager setup. Neighborhood. There we go. That's the word that I was looking for. But I also wanted to show you guys this. So there is a hidden path leading back to Bill's home. So you're able to hop across and visit his home. And I made this very simple. I wanted it to just be kind of its own little offsetting island here. You can see that there's another floating island in the back there. You can see that and I wanted to again make it feel like there's different levels. So off to the right there, you're seeing where there's some water and things like that. I wanted to make it feel like these islands are at different levels and at different altitudes and stuff like that. So that's kind of what my thought process was with that. But let's go ahead. I know that right now as I'm doing this tour that he is not awake, but I'm going to go ahead and jump to a time where he is and show you what his house looks like. So let's go explore, guys. Well, guys, welcome to Bill's house. I hope you guys like it. So again, kind of going with a simple build for Bill, giving it kind of like a bachelor pad feel. We've got the dishes in the sink, things like that. Just wanted a kind of a cozy cabin kind of feel for it. And that's what really inspired me for this. Obviously, he is a jock character, so I put the fish mounted on the walls. So we got a fish up there. We've got another one over there. We've got the mountain bike. We got the skateboards. Really giving it that bachelor pad feel. And then, of course, on the television on top of there. Anyway, putting the popcorn on top there, but also I wanted to throw in this little fireplace. Thought that was just kind of a cute touch on there, just to kind of keep the area all nice and warm and cozy. Now, the funny thing about Bill is when I started to remodel his house, I noticed that he had kind of a big kitchen dining room set up in his house, and so I wanted to give him a little bit of a bigger kitchen area space to work in. We've got the cutting board. I used the what is this, like the medieval kitchenette or something like that? I can't remember. But then also having an area for him to sit down and enjoy a cup of coffee or enjoy his meal. So that's what really pushed me to design this area. I crunched the living room area and the bedroom area a little bit and really focused in on this area right here. I know it's very basic as far as design. There's not as much clutter in here, but again, it kind of goes back to that bachelor pad type feel for it, where there just isn't a lot going on in this house. So I hope you guys found some inspiration. Let's go ahead and talk to him real quick. So let's continue on with the island tour. So I hope you guys really enjoyed Bill's house. I tried to make it feel like it was a bachelor pad, but yet at the same time kind of fit him a little bit. It was interesting to see his house before I developed it or before I started building it. It was like a it was like a kitchen type theme going on there. But this area right here is Ione. I wanted her area to be as high up as possible and to have such a very scenic view. so that way she could do some stargazing. She is my stargazing girl. I absolutely adore Ione. She is so adorable, but I wanted to have this little area where she could sit out, look at the stars, have the telescope to get a closer look, but then also have a little place where she could do some flower gardening and have this little beehive as well. But let's go ahead and check out her home. I know it's not very much different than when I had her on my Castlecore island. I absolutely love that build, but I did make some changes. So let's go ahead and check those out. So guys, this is Ione's house. I absolutely love how this all turned out. So if you have seen my Castlecore island, it's pretty much the same setup. Partly because of the fact that I didn't restart my island from the Castlecore to this island. I kept Epra as it was. And I tried remodeling Ione's house to be different, and I struggled because I just loved how this was all set up, how I designed it, and so I decided to kind of keep it the same. The things that I really changed though was the background. Originally when I did her home and I made her home, the back wall was actually the Aurora Borealis, aka the Northern Lights, and I switched that for the Skycore that you're seeing now, or not the Skycore, the sky wallpaper. So otherwise, I didn't really do much changing with hers. I wanted to keep it simple, wanted to showcase her love for the stars. I mean, look at her, she is adorable. I absolutely love her. She is wearing a green shirt though. That's not what I would have put her in. But she's such a cutie. I love that she glows in the dark, and I wanted to kind of have that in her house to make it seem very dark. Even though it's daylight out, I wanted it to be dark so you guys can see her little glowy ears and her glowy paws. I love them so much. Maybe I might have to make a stuffed animal of her and make it so that her paws and stuff are glow in the dark. I think that would be super cute. But anyway, this was Ione's house. I hope you guys find a lot of inspiration. I don't recall where I became inspired with her build. I think it was a page that I saw on Pinterest somewhere and just decided to take that inspiration and make it my own. So that's kind of what you're seeing with Ione's house right here. But I hope you guys have found inspiration. So let's go ahead and check out more villager homes. Well, let's say hi first. Otherwise, she might get mad at me. And we can't have Ione mad at us. Even though she's adorable while feisty. Just can't do it. Alright, so that was Ione's house. Let's keep exploring, guys. Next up is Marshall's house. I wanted to keep his very, very simple as far as exterior design, partly because of the lack of space, but also because he strikes me as being not a very nature type squirrel. So like he prefers to drink coffee, things like that. He's very much an interior squirrel. So I didn't want to have very much on the exterior in the sense of he just doesn't really want to be outside. So let's go check out his home. Well, guys, welcome to Marshall's home. So as I mentioned outside, he prefers, from my idea of his character and stuff, he prefers to be inside and definitely has a more elegant or sharp modern look to his home, as you can see by the design that I have here. Did make it so that way he has kind of a loft bed instead of having a shorter bed. That way he has a space for his laptop, but also he enjoys the finer things like coming over and sitting down and having a cup of coffee in front of the window. He does have a nice little seating area here, and then I really loved how this kitchen area really turned out. It's very simple and yet showcases a lot. He has, of course, his coffee up in the corner there. Couldn't make this area without that, so so definitely have that there. And then of course this whole area just is a very sharp modern look to it, even though there's a little bit of a rustic style in there with the wallpaper that I use. So he's one of my favorite characters, so I absolutely think he's adorable, and his cranky little attitude just gets me every single time. So, but I think that's more of like his first time meeting you. He seems cranky, but then as you get to know him, he warms up to you. But yeah, he's such a sweetheart, and I absolutely adore him. And I had to get a okay, I love the little tail shakes over there. So, but I had to make a home that really reflected his style. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing his home, and I hope you found some inspiration. Bye, Marshall. Okay, continuing on, guys. Also, as we are exploring these homes, I would absolutely love to hear which home is your favorite. So leave a comment down below. Now this area is actually Molly's area. I wanted her to have kind of a natural location because, you know, she's a cute little duck. And she needs a little spot to come and, you know, take a swim every once in a while, but also have a spot where she can have a cup of tea, just enjoy nature itself. But I wanted her area to be very cozy, very natural, so that's why you don't see a developed road. It's more of a path, and also just very natural in terms of the waterfall and the flowers everywhere. So let's go explore Molly's house. So guys, welcome to Molly's house. I hope you guys enjoy this little home here that I created. When I first walked into her home, I thought it was super adorable that it was more of a elegant style home, and that she had a little spot for doing some music, so like the violin and things like that. I didn't know that about Molly, that she enjoyed that she had any musical interest or anything like that. So I wanted to bring that back in here. I wanted to make it that she still had the kitchen in the back, her little bedroom off to the side that showcases the sky over there, but also have a little sitting area for her to have like a cup of coffee or to read a magazine, and then have a spot right here for her to play her music while looking out over the clouds. So that's what really drove this build. Wanted to keep it with the wood feel because, as you recall from the exterior, that she has a log cabin kind of thing going on. So I wanted to bring that interior or in here, but also keep with a very cozy and elegant feel as well. So I hope you enjoyed her little house here. She has turned into another favorite villager of mine. Oh, thank you, dear. So cute. So cute. She has turned in, she's really moving up there as far as adorable villagers and villagers that I absolutely enjoy. She might have reached the top 5. I don't know. Maybe one of these times I'll rank my favorite villagers, but for now, she's up there. Okay. So this again was an area that I wanted to make it feel very natural for Molly. So that's why we have all of the flowers, we have all of the waterfalls and stuff. I didn't want it to be fully overgrown though, in the sense of it being overtaken by flowers either, or weeds, to make it seem like Molly was just trying to clean things up a little bit. So let's keep exploring. So I know I showcased this area to you a little bit, the shopping district area, but there is another level to it as well. And that is the museum level. So let's go and check that area out. I did want it to feel like we are continuing to climb up a level and have this spot where you can overlook some of the areas. You can see the balloons in the background. I wanted those to kind of give you a hot air balloon feel, so you can kind of take in that view. But up here is our museum. Oh, hello, Marshall. How are you today? So I wanted this to be a very simple location. Well then. He found something. So I wanted this to feel a very cozy area, a place that you can come over and have a cup of coffee. You go in, you get a cup of coffee from Brewster, and then you can come out and just enjoy the views. But also, there was a little bit of space in between the museum and the front here. So we have the little waterfall down here. And I struggled for a very long time to decide what I wanted to have in front of the museum, and eventually settled on this fountain here. So I know it's a little bit of a squeeze to get through there sometimes, but I don't think I could have done it any other way. I've tried multiple different options, and it just seemed like the fountain was the best choice. But I did want to show you some hidden gems back over here. So if you come and explore my island, you can come back over here, and there is a little spot right here that you can climb down to check out this area back here. So this is one of the views that I was talking about on the island. And yes, I see the pipe there. Don't worry guys, we will get to it. But I wanted this to kind of feel like a sacred area that you're able to view. Like, this is the source of the reasoning for why these islands are floating. And that's kind of how I wanted to design this area. Like, it used to be a temple or something like that, and then people just realized that they don't need to make offerings, but it's just an area to admire and to keep, in a way. Like, maybe they realized that as they tried to develop on there, that the island started to sink, so then they just decided, you know what, we're just going to leave it natural, we're going to leave it as it is, and have not had any issues with the islands in any way, shape, or form since then. So that's what this kind of area is supposed to be, is just an onlooking of this area. They kind of were like, nope, no more access to this. We want people to just admire it from afar. It's supposed to be this area for people to just look at. And so that's what this little spot is just a place to view the islands. And of course we have some mountains over here to check out. So if I pull out my thing again, you can see some mountains in the distance. I wanted to again give you that depth that we are up in the air and show that we are higher than the mainland. So, but yes, if we come up on this side, and then if you go behind, there is that portal, that pipe that I showed you. And this actually takes you to my little island with my residential home. So this is also a build that I have on my one of my speed builds. There we go. I I was having a brain fart there for a second. I know that the speed build is slightly different than what you guys see here, but it kind of gives you the same idea of what I wanted to incorporate on the island, or on this little island here. I wanted to have the waterfalls, make it natural, but I also wanted to have an area here to do some gardening and have a little bit of a view. So you can climb up here. There is a little spot for me to enjoy some amazing cider. I am not a coffee drinker, so I can do that as the sun is rising. Normally, just to kind of give you guys an idea, I would not be up before 6 o'clock if I don't have to be. I am a sleep person 100%, but I love how calm this island is at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and I love the idea of experiencing this island as the sun is rising. So that's why I set it for this time. That's why I set it for the spring, just to kind of give you this fresh feel as we are exploring this island. And then this is just another little sitting area with some rugs that are laying out. And this was a fun little build. It was challenging because I had to crunch it in. The original build took up way too much space, and so then I had to really compact it in. And I love how this all turned out. But let's go ahead and check out my house itself. So this is the main area. I wanted to make it feel kind of like a cabin area, very cozy, very welcoming in a way. But you can see that we have a view in the back, and I have my kitchen in here, as well as my living room and dining room area. So this is the main area. What in the heck is on the TV? Oh my goodness. It's a cat commercial. So yeah, just something that I had a lot of fun building. Originally, the door to the right here, I had blocked off. I was like, oh, I just want to have it be very minimal in terms of rooms that I have to decorate. I did that with the back room. I didn't want to have any access to that. But I decided to open this up and try something new. So I've never done something like this before, but I've seen people do this, and it really inspired me, and that was having a little garage area. So we have my bike in here, we have my car. Now I know I can't drive on this island or on this build, but that's okay. I wanted to have this as an option in my house build. I had gone back and forth on whether or not I wanted to showcase this, and decided to go with it. I was like, I'm really kind of proud of how this turned out. Why wouldn't I show this to you guys in case this helps inspire you? And then also, I had this open because I needed to build some things, and so this is where I put my craft table. But yeah, this was something that it's a very simple thing. I didn't put anything on the walls or anything, but it just turned out really cool, and I like how this little garage setup turned out. So I wanted to show that to you guys in case you guys got any inspiration for it. So if we go off to the left here, we will see my bathroom. So I saw an inspirational picture on Pinterest. I do not know the creator, but I pulled inspiration from someone who made a bathroom very similar to this. And I wanted something that was very cute, very cozy. I wanted to combine the idea of the laundry room with the bathroom. And so that's what you guys are seeing here. But we have my bathtub over here. We have the toilet, and then of course the main area you walk into is the laundry area. So we got my washer right here, we have the sink. All my clothes are hung up to dry. I don't have a dryer, partly because of the fact that I couldn't find one. I was having a hard time getting my hands on one, but that's okay, guys. It turned out so beautiful. I am so happy with this build. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it other than the fact that I just absolutely love it. Now, my favorite room in this entire house is my bedroom. And normally, I put my bedroom in the attic. But this time, I did it in the basement. So this is my bedroom, you guys. I absolutely adore how this turned out. I wanted to make it into my bedroom / craft area. If you guys know anything about me, I am a very crafty individual. I love doing arts and crafts. I love being artistic, things like that. And I wanted to showcase that in my room, my bedroom. I wanted an area where I showcase I showcase my gaming side with this little game setup that you see here, but then also show another side of me, which is arts and crafts. Eventually, I would love to be making some arts and crafts that I would eventually sell to people. There are so many people that I pull inspiration from for that and would love to be able to be as successful as they are. But yeah, this turned out so adorable. I love this room and how it just all flows together, how it just turned out. Of course, we got the little puppy dog over here. No house is complete without a puppy dog. So so let's go ahead and check out my attic, guys. And this is a friendly reminder, you guys, that you are taking care of yourself. Take care of your mental health as well as your physical health. It is very, very important you do so that way you guys live a healthy and happy life. So this build was a huge challenge for me. I knew I wanted to have some type of patio where we come out and you are viewing the open sky. Because look at that. Isn't that cool? But I struggled with this so much. You have no idea. This was probably the one room that took me the longest to build. And it drove me crazy. But I have some amazing friends who I can pull such great inspiration from. One of those people being Matilda. Matilda had a really amazing patio design, and it really inspired this build right here. She had, oh my goodness, I'm blanking on what it was that she had, but it was something similar to this, where she had an area where there's some camping going on, things like that. And I really got motivated. And if you guys get a chance, go check her out. I will be sure to link her information in the video description below for her Twitter account. She has some incredible island designs, photos, whatever you guys would need to become inspirational. She is a main portion of my inspiration. She is super, super talented as a creator. I do not know where she gets her ideas because they are just so different from anything that I've ever seen. One of the designs she made was a desert island, legit desert island. And I got the honor to tour her island, and I was blown away by it. Absolutely blown away. And if she cannot find what she needs in terms of codes or anything like that, she will make it. That's how talented this girl is. So be sure to go check her out. She was one of the people that I pulled a lot of inspiration from. Okay, so coming back in and checking out more of my island. So again, this shopping district area is very symmetrical. I wanted to make it feel like the most developed portion of the island, which is why you're seeing the pavement, you're seeing the stone steps, you're seeing the mirrored images on both sides of it. And then if we go this direction, we are getting to the other neighborhood areas of my island. So a little overview there, you're able to see another little hot air balloon down there. So first we will come down this way. So this is another speed build that I have available on my island. This showcases Gonzo and Faith's areas. And I wanted them to kind of be more of a secluded area and to feel like they're incorporating their tree loving abilities. But what I mean by that is, if you haven't seen the speed build, this is Gonzo's build. I wanted to incorporate this treehouse onto my island and make it feel like his house was legit in a treehouse. It was a treehouse type feel. We can go in there. We will go check out his actual house. But this was super, super fun to build. And super challenging too, because of the fact that we needed to get it to a point where we were far enough away to be able to see the depth of this build, because it does take up a lot of space to be able to make this, but also make it compact enough to make it feel like we are still on a floating island. So it was a challenge. So we'll check his out right after we check out Faith's. So their story is kind of a grandfather-granddaughter situation. They both came to the island to, get away from the city life. And so this is the result of that. She's got a little washing area over here, and then of course a place where she can sit and read. But let's go ahead and check out the interior of her house. So welcome to Faith's home, you guys. And it looks like Raymond is here as well. So with Faith's home, I kind of wanted to make it, again, a little simple, but at the same time have the wood aspect, because she does have a kind of a log cabin type feel to her home. And I also wanted it to be very cozy, but also have a lot of plants. I mean, she is a koala bear after all, guys. And she does have the nice little view that you guys see there. And all these amazing plants in here. I wanted it to feel very, have a lot of greenery, things like that. So that's what you are seeing with Faith's house here. I feel like a lot of my houses, a lot of my villager homes are very similar. And that's just because of the fact that I wanted to have similar themes where they're very cozy, but not over the top elegant either. And that's just because of the fact that they're of the location of where they're at. So let's say hi real quick. Aww. But yes, this was a little fun build to make. I had a blast. Like, you have her little living room back there. We have a place to sit down and have meals. She has her bedroom in the back, and then of course a kitchen, making this a very cozy log cabin. All right, that was Faith's home. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Next is Gonzo. So showed you guys before, this is the front of his house, but if you want to go check out his house yourself, there is a back way. I wanted to make this as hidden as possible, so that way it wasn't obvious that you could access his house. But obviously, if you go check out the map, you'll see the staircase, things like that. So this is his house. Of course, being up in a tree, he doesn't really have a yard. I had to make the yard area down below, but at the same time, I didn't want him to have a yard either because of the fact that I considered Gonzo kind of being a hermit in a way, where he's just like the cranky old man that lives on the island. So let's go ahead and check out his home. Welcome guys to Gonzo's house. So I made his home a very similar feel as Faith, just because of the fact that I pictured Gonzo and Faith being related, him being Faith's grandfather and such. But I also wanted him to kind of have this little cozy spot for himself, but also have him kind of be a plant person. I don't know why, but like him being in here having a whole bunch of plants that he takes care of. I love that he's dusting right now as we're doing this. Like he's just like such a caretaker of his own little home, and I love it. But yeah, that's really what I pictured for him, is just having this cozy little home that you can come into, and he'd make you like a cup of coffee, or he'd make you some hot chocolate, and you just kind of sit here. He also comes from a generation where they don't necessarily have a TV, and he didn't necessarily need a TV to be entertained, and would just prefer to just kind of sit in front of the fire, having a cup of coffee, and just watching the flames. I mean, I don't know what's more relaxing. I love bonfires and fires for that reason alone. I could sit there and just watch the fire for hours. It is so relaxing and so soothing. Even if it's freezing out, it's such a great experience. But I had Gonzo on my island a long time ago. And he was my first experience with koalas. And I'll admit, like, I wasn't a huge fan of them in the beginning. They kind of scared me a little bit. And over time, I just started to realize just how cute they were. And Gonzo is no exception to that. He is such an adorable grandfather figure on the island. Absolutely love that. And he has been a treasure to this island. So if you guys are considering or thinking about the crank that you want on your island, Gonzo is a wonderful choice for that. He really doesn't have a cranky personality, in my opinion. He just has a personality that really matches the personality of my own grandfathers, where they're just stubborn. So, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, you're getting dust in your food there, buddy. What the heck? So yeah, with him, again, I wanted to bring in a lot of plant life, make it seem like he's such a plant caretaker, and has all of this life in his house. And yeah, like I said, I hope you guys find inspiration from his build here. Had a lot of fun with it, and he is just such a cute character. Bye, Gonzo! I hope Gonzo's home provided some inspiration for you guys. His was fun to build, keeping in mind of the whole like cranky grandfather kind of thing. So, and here's a little spot that you can kind of sit and take in the view of another little island that I created for Anka. So I got to a point where originally the neighborhood that we are going to eventually get to behind us was going to be a five house neighborhood. Found out that was just too much space, and so I then discovered that I had 2 villagers that I had no clue what I was going to do with, and decided to create little spots for their homes. So just like this, you come over, you jump over to their islands, their little spots, and explore their homes here. But let's go ahead and check out Anka's home. So guys, this is Anka's house. I wanted to kind of give it kind of a deserty feel, but yet bring in the blues and things like that. Mostly because of the fact that Anka is kind of from an Egyptian culture a little bit with her design and stuff. So I wanted to have that brought into her interior. And so I kind of meshed in the desert feel, elegant feel, but also with the blues of the sky as well. So that's what we have here. We have her bedroom in the back along with the closet, and then of course the area for her cooking and for watching TV. Again, this is one of my favorite builds. I actually have yet to really be upset with any of the builds that I have done for my villagers so far, mostly because of the fact that I have general ideas of what I want to do for each of my villagers when I make them, and I just take the ideas and kind of roll with it. For inspiration for this build, again, going back to Matilda and her desert theme island, that really helped bring this in. I didn't want to do the reds and the golds and the tans. I want to do something a little bit different, and that's why you see the whites and the blues. I kind of wanted to make it feel more beachy desert than desert. Mostly because of the fact that elegant beach, desert, whatever the words I'm trying to find, I felt like it fit more into the Skycore that I'm working with. But let's go ahead and say hello. And then of course you can tell that it was going with that theme as well with the music. So I hope you guys found some inspiration from Anka's house. Alright, so that was Anka's home. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, her area, I wanted to make it very, very simple. Didn't want to put a whole lot on here, partly because of the fact that we don't have a lot of space to work with, but I'm sure she would absolutely love to get up and just come out and sit and enjoy her little secluded area. Anka strikes me as a girl that is friendly but yet an introvert, where she doesn't necessarily want to be out and about with people all the time. So she's my introverted girl. So here is another little bridge. Wanted to make this seem like it was more of a formal bridge that they started to develop, but then when they started messing around with the source of the floating, like the area that I mentioned before where they started messing with it, the island started sinking. Well, this was supposed to be a formal bridge into this bigger island, and this was going to be where they were going to have the neighborhoods just as we have it built, but then things started sinking and the bridge became neglected as they tried to figure out the reason why the islands were sinking. So that's why this looks so neglected, why the stone railings here are covered. So they're gonna come back and try to clean this up eventually once they have more people coming and touring the island and checking things out. So this is one of my other favorite builds. I know this was probably the most challenging of all of them because I had an idea of what I wanted it to be and then it just did not work out. But I do love how it turned out. If you go check out that video, that speed build video, I will kind of walk you through my process, my thoughts, things like that, and then share with you, why I had to change the things that I did. But my purpose for this one is to make it feel more open and airy. So I wanted it to feel like a little secluded area for these villagers and make it feel just homey for them. Most of the villagers don't really have yards, but these guys do, kind of feeling like these guys are higher end class a little bit Not saying that I don't have favorites. I do love all of my villagers on the island, but I just kind of wanted to make this feel like it was a little upper class, and these were probably the first villagers of these floating islands. So you have Bones right here. He is home, so we will go ahead and walk in and check out his house. But he has kind of a area over here where he can do some grilling, things like that, a place to sit down and have a cup of coffee. Again, just wanted it to be very, very simple to reflect his personality. So let's go ahead and check it out. I hope you guys enjoy Bones' house. Well, look at that. Bones is doing a craft project. So Bones, I had a lot of fun doing his island, or not his island, his home. Wanted it to be very, very simple. Wanted it to be pretty much a bachelor pad. I mean, he is a lazy villager, so wanted that to reflect his style a little bit in the terms of, you know, he's got books that are laying here, his bed isn't made, he's got some just stuff laying around. So wanted to emphasize that a little bit, but his was a little bit of fun. Sorry about the mess. What are you doing? Let's check out and see. Oh, mossy garden rock. Nice. Yes, I do know that one. He's such a cutie. I did not think that I would enjoy Bones as much as I do. He's really grown on me. I chose him for Cookie and to be kind of a companion for her. And he's just kind of turned into this little adorable villager on my island. He's so funny. I will be doing a construction project and he'll suddenly just like run by me. And he just makes me laugh. He's such a fun little character. So if you guys have not had a chance to have Bones on your island, he brings me so much joy. So, but yeah, this is his home. I hope you guys find some inspiration for it. But let's go ahead and check out more of the island. Bye, Bones. So yeah, that was Bones' house. Again, hope you guys found inspiration. But let's go ahead and check out some of the other areas of this neighborhood. So I pulled a lot of inspiration from 2 YouTube channels for this build. I will go ahead and link the speed builds of various areas of my island to the description of this video. And those will also talk about the inspiration of these builds. I have on those speed builds links to my inspiration, links to the YouTube channels that I found the inspiration for, so be sure to check out them as well. So back here is Cookie's little area. Again, wanted it to be cozy and reflect her love of the color pink, in case you didn't know. But also, what really drew me to Cookie is the fact that Cookie happens to be my friend Matilda's favorite villager. And when I found that out, I was like, I need to have her on my island to find out why. Cookie is so adorable. She's such a sweetheart. And I knew this spot right here was meant for Cookie when I started deciding where I was going to place villagers. And I think this is probably one of my favorite villager yard areas of all time. Of all time, guys. That's saying a lot. I love how natural this feels, how cozy this feels. I would actually love to live in this spot of my island more so than the area that I created for my residential home. That's saying a lot because I put a whole bunch of sweat and tears and effort into my residential home area, and this is actually my favorite over that. So with that being said, let's go ahead and check out Cookie's house. So guys, welcome to Cookie's house. Again, another house that I had a lot of fun designing. I wanted to give the pink feel for her. This was kind of outside of my comfort level due to the fact that pink is not my color. I know there's a lot of people out there who are a fan of the color pink. It is not my color in any way, shape, or form. So it was a little bit of a challenge to get over my own self-interest and push towards something a little bit different. But I'm so glad I did because this is the end result. I know it seems a little bit crowded for her, but you know, at the end of the day, I think it turned out super cute. We still have the kitchen area, we have the bedroom in the back, the living area, and then I wanted this area right here for doing crafts and stuff, so that's why we have that set up the way it is. For most of my villager homes, I try to have the living room, bedroom, kitchen, and then the craft table in there, so that way when people come to visit, they're not seeing or they're not taking over a certain area for crafting and stuff. So that's kind of been my motivation. I know that a lot of people don't include all those areas, and I'm trying to push myself to kind of design things the way that fits the characters themselves. Sometimes they may not need a kitchen area, sometimes they may not need a living room area, and so I'm trying to push myself to design the area based upon that thought process. But yeah, this is Cookie's house. I hope you guys found inspiration. Oh my goodness, Cookie is such an adorable villager. I absolutely love her. So our last villager that we have on the island is Raymond. And his area I was inspired to do because of the fact that he just makes me feel like he's a bookworm. Like, that's the vibe that I get from him. So I created this area for him to kind of sit out here, enjoy, read, be outside a little bit, but it's kind of like his own little nook in a way, his own little area to just be himself. And just like Marshall, he is a snooty character, so I feel like he's, or not a snooty, what's the word that I'm looking for? Is it the snobby character? Because snooty is female. What is Marshall and Raymond? I am blanking now. Oh my goodness. But anyway, Marshall and him make me feel like they are loners in a way. Like, they enjoy being around people, but for the most part they like their own little areas and don't really like people invading on that space so much. So that's what really inspired this area. But let's go ahead and check out his home. So welcome to Raymond's house. I had a challenge doing his home. So I actually saw an idea where the bookcase over there is what divided up the room, and that really sparked my interest because of the fact that I always took Raymond as kind of a businessman of sorts. I mean, he's wearing a business suit, so so I thought having the little bookshelf right next to his bedroom, having the desk there with his computer, and then this simple little living room with the kitchen in the back was really what helped motivate me. I wanted him to have a very simple yet sharp looking design, not a whole lot of clutter in there, and wanted it to really reflect his style. So kind of rustic, kind of with the ironwood and stuff. So that's really what inspired me for him. Oh my gosh, I really love his toe beans. Sorry guys, I am easily distracted sometimes, and toe beans does it for me. So if you're not distracted by those cute little toe beans, I don't know. I don't know what would ever distract you. Would never be distracted. So, but yeah, just wanted it to be very simple. Kind of took some inspiration off of Marshall's home as well. I wanted it to have kind of a similar feel to it, but not have the same exact layout, setup, etc. Wanted it to be Raymond's in his own way, and I feel like this is how he would style his home. Very very modern, very straightforward in a way. So yeah, this is Raymond's home. Let's go ahead and say hello to him. Matilda. We've only mentioned her a couple of times. But yes, I hope you guys found some inspiration from Raymond's home. Just kind of giving you a final turn about the area. And yeah, let's continue on with the island tour. Bye, Raymond. So that was Raymond's home. Now we have seen all of the villagers on my island. Please leave a comment down below of which home you found the most inspiration for, which home you really enjoyed. I would love to hear from you. But I believe this really concludes my island tour. Just double checking, making sure I didn't miss anything for you guys. I want you guys to really pull inspiration from what I built here. As I mentioned before, it was a challenge. It really was. I had to take my ideas and really compact them into small areas. I didn't have the entire island to work with. I had these small areas to work with, and that was really, really a challenge for me, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Yes, there were times that I really wanted to pull my hair out, but for the most part, it was a lot of fun. But I really hope you guys found inspiration as we toured my island here, as you got to see what it was that I've been working on. My next island is actually going to be a villager town island. It's going to be a winter themed and a little bit of a Christmas themed for you guys, so you guys can see that. And I'm hoping to have that out before Christmas, so you guys can get inspiration for that at that point. But thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video, to seeing what it was that I had constructed on my island. It was a lot of fun to do this island. It was a lot of fun to construct this island. I had a blast. I hope you guys pull inspiration and leave a comment down below of what your favorite part of this island was. I would love to read it, love to hear from you guys. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, wherever you are in this amazing world. Thank you again for coming on this tour with me. Keep on being inspirational out there, guys. And until next time, bye-bye.